Good morning. This is Ronell Nolan, and I'd like to welcome you to the HAFA Think Tank, Wednesday, September 7th. Of course, this meeting is intended for independent insurance agents and not intended for insurance carrier reps. We do have a big surprise today because I didn't think Bridget was going to be able to make it into the think tank, but because of her house, of course, being underwater and her working diligently trying to put it back together. But I got a big surprise when she actually walked through the door about 5 minutes ago. So we are happy to have Bridget with us today. Everyone is going to remain in the mute position. If you'd like to ask a question, you can type that in the question pane, or if you'd like to raise your hand, you can simply just raise your hand and we'll give you the floor. I do want to say that we're going to stop at 11:45 because there's several of our agents that are registered for a RegTap meeting, the Stop APTC for periodic data matching and failure. So I'm going to turn it over to Bridget, and thank you again for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to dive right into this. First off, our think tank is open to accepting other agenda items. Please email them to me prior to our prior to our think tank meetings. If I stumble a few times, I'm still in flood fog, so just excuse me for that. Our CEO will be traveling to Washington, D.C. on Monday to attend a meeting about Medicaid. The main purpose is to ask the question, why are they paying for enrollment people and will not use agents? CMS just issued a report. They gave navigators another $69 million but refused to address agents not being compensated. I'm going to run through this really quickly. It's just a few agenda items that we need to get out of the way before we start, with a lot of questions. Next, HAFA has chosen Orlando for the Agent Summit 2017. It's going to be July 20th through the 21st. It's a great opportunity to bring your family, and HAFA board member Wes Fisher and his staff has graciously offered to host, so go ahead and save the date. Just a reminder of our new officers who were elected to the HAFA Agent Summit, they were elected at the HAFA Agent Summit in January. They will become effective. Chairman of the board is Angie Sura, Vice Chair Jeff Miles, Secretary Treasurer Don Massive, Education Sandy Davis, Regulation Trish Freeman, Legislation me, Bridget Rushing-Sneed. Marketing and membership is Wes Fisher. For the HAFA PAC, Chairman of the board is Bridget Rushing-Sneed. Vice Chair is Stephen Cosby. Secretary Treasurer is Sandy Davis. We will be looking for a new think tank chairman. No prior experience necessary, and you do not have to live by the HAFA office. So just please email Ronell or myself. And when does that chair go into effect?
January.
Okay, we're looking for somebody as of January 1. Okay, spotlight on agent issues. The recent surveys, results, and bringing value to our members. We will continue to review the survey and present it to the 2017 planning session of our HAFA board. The HAFA staff wants to be more accessible and available, and with the addition of our executive assistant, Christine Hogg, that should happen. The hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. CEO and chairman of the board have a preliminary meeting in September. Board planning session 2017 to be announced. Okay, next up, agents will deliver at the HAFA Agent Mini Summit in DC. This summit is September the 25th through the 28th and is at the Employer Healthcare Conference. HAFA will host a mini summit and CEO will speak and two other times. In addition, Dr. K will speak on Sunday. Dr. K is with
Navigate HCR.
Navigate HCR. Do we have any questions? We have a question from Wayne. Can Trish elaborate on the way health insurance premiums are being handled for those in affected parishes? Is it the same as Katrina, 6 months to pay? Is Trish on the call? Oh.
Wayne, we haven't heard that, and that's something that we'll put on our list to ask. The only thing that we've gotten from CMS is those that are missing information such as income or any data that the marketplace needs. We asked CMS for a reprieve. They've given them extra 60 days, but you must put that in writing. So I will definitely check with the commissioner on the premiums. Seems like something might have been released, but it's not right there on the top of my head. But I will find out, and I will email everyone that's on this call.
I can tell you from my perspective, because I actually have my health insurance through them, I was affected and I got a late notice from Vantage. So obviously something's not out there yet. Okay. Wayne says, no, this is for the flood victims. The DOI said something. Ronell's going to check with the commissioner just to find out, and she'll be updating us as soon as she gets that. Okay. On our mini summit, the HAFA members are free. You just have to go in and register and use HAFA 2016. This is at the Gaylord Hotel in DC, or vacation rental by owner. And a day on the hill is the September 28th. Okay. HAFA partners, the New Frontier Committee. Wes is forming a committee and we'll be looking for committee members. This committee would work on relationships between agents and the carriers we represent. Anyone interested in that, please email. Wes needs a lot of help with this.
And I just want to add that this came out of a conversation that Wes and I had when I went to his mini summit in Florida, that he'd like to form a committee that works with carriers and other partners and bring them to the table, let them know what agents can bring to the table, and hopefully not, I mean, we're not there to negotiate commissions. We're there, again, to show the value of the agent. So this is something that he has, his idea. I just came up with the name. Hopefully he likes it, but I thought HAFA's Partners for the New Frontier Committee would be something going forward and something that could possibly help us stay in our profession.
Okay. E&O carrier secured for HAFA members. NAPA has a website specific for HAFA members. A discount on E&O, tax preparers E&O, and completing the 1095A, B, and C. Web broker secured for HAFA. Health Sherpa, discount $400, unlimited enrollment. Also Rabbit App, you still have a discount. Regulatory Committee, Trish Freeman, 2017. She needs help in reading rules and regulations that come from CMS and how HAFA should respond. Anyone interested in this, please contact Ronell or Trish to get on that committee. HAFA to provide CAC training. Yes. Total CMS shutdown. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, yes. This is another conversation that Wes and his staff and I had about HAFA being able to provide CAC training for our staff. Because HAFA is a nonprofit, they thought it might be a good idea and a good conversation to have that said, okay, why can't HAFA provide training for those staff members that work in our offices and give them the designation of a CAC? At first, the CMS was very interesting until they realized exactly what I was asking. And then they told me, well, you're a broker, so you can't be both. Like we all know, the law says I can be a navigator, but I have to give up my book of business. I can be a CAC, but I have to give up my book of business. When I explained, no, I am a nonprofit trade association, and we would like to educate our staff of our members, they refused to respond. So as y'all know, that doesn't mean it's the end of the conversation. It just means I'll ask 100 more times. So that's still on our agenda.
Okay, state and federal legislation. Jeff Miles, VP of Legislation, and Bridget Sneed is Chair of Legislation. Jeff's here? Okay, Jeff, would you like to speak on this one?
There you go.
Your mic's on.
Just briefly, things are pretty much the same as they were. We still need to try and get at least someone from each state to serve on this committee so that we can, or at least in their state, so that we can at least be aware of things that are going on in that state and see what we can do about them. Our number one topic is to work on legislation to require navigators to be licensed, or to level the playing field, if you will, between agents and navigators in the individual market. Clearly, we need to deliver the value, the role and value of the agent, and a piece is being circulated at the event in Washington, D.C. coming up at the end of the month, which unfortunately I can't be at, but I would encourage anyone who has even the most remote interest in this to go to the Day on the Hill. It's actually a lot of fun with HAFA folks there, and we've always had a good time in going there and meeting with either the legislators themselves or their key staff people. We have various bills that are pending right now in Congress. It hasn't changed. The World's Greatest Healthcare Plan by Senator Cassidy and Congressman Sessions is still up there. It has quite a few co-sponsors. They're working on the politics of it to try and make certain that they can bring in bipartisan support. We still have Paul Ryan with his idea. It's just merely a white paper. It's not a bill yet, but the likelihood of anything happening until after the election, I would say at this point, is virtually zero. Once the election happens and we know where we stand for next year, I think it'll be a lot easier for us to have a strategy, and I'll do everything I can to reach out with Bridget, and who's coming in as the new Vice President of Legislation, and help figure out exactly what the agenda is going to be. I'm going to be at a conference, a political-only conference in November, just after the election, and I think there'll be a lot of interesting information to gather there, and I'll report back to HAFA. It's going to be a lot of the speakers you are used to seeing on television or the internet and hearing about, and it's usually a good opportunity to sort of get a read on what's going on out there in the political marketplace, because that will drive what's going to happen to our businesses. And I think with that, that's about all I've got right now.
Second. Okay, great. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Hold on one second. We got Jeff still on. There we go. I want to say a couple of things before I gave it back to Bridget. The topic about working to have legislation for navigators to be licensed agents. We've had a couple of questions about that. And my thought process is this: not necessarily that they need to be insurance agents, but they're acting as insurance agents. I don't care if they call it enrolling, they are selling. If you listen to any of the CMS information, they are teaching these people how to sell. So if we we create legislation that puts the spotlight to the consumer that there are everyday people that are not licensed, are not insured, that have your social security number, that have your date of birth, and have your income, and they're not licensed. They may be licensed navigators. To me, that's really nothing. That was just trying to get the navigators at least so they knew who was working in your state. So that's probably not something that we're really looking to pass. It's something that we're going to use as a media topic to try to show the public exactly what's happening with their $69 million that they're providing information to possibly prisoners, churchgoers, or anybody like that. And before I turn it back over to Bridget, I want to answer Wayne's question from the DOI. They said there's a normal 30-day grace period, which we're aware of. If the premium was due during August 10th and September 10th, the emergency rule suspended the cancellation, but it still needs to be paid by September 10th if it was due before then. So I hope that answers your question. I'm going to turn it back over to Bridget. And thanks, Jeff.
Okay, next up, Political Action Committee. Everyone needs to give to the PAC. We are only asking for $12 a month. Go online to www.hoffapac.org. This is very important, especially when it comes to meeting with congressmen and senators, just to be able to have a voice. I can't stress how important that is. Next up, Branding Marketing Company. Chair, Angie Sura. VP Marketing and Membership, Angie S. at stmarysinsurance.org. West Fisher 2017. Angie is doing an outstanding job with Agents Have Faith campaign, looking to create a one-page piece, value of the agent, and video, generic in nature, so all members can use. New open enrollment pieces, new faith videos to use to explain the value of the agent and open enrollment. Please share this with social media and your clients. Aflac has the Ducks. Agents Have Faith. Hoffa CEO to speak in Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday, recruiting missing by board member Wes Fisher.
I typed that. That makes no sense. Apologize for that. Wes Fisher has taken his new role as marketing and membership very, very, very seriously. He has flown me into Orlando, into Tampa, and now Fort Lauderdale next Wednesday. And what he does is invite about 100 agents in that area. We do a 2-hour CE, and we recruit members. Last meeting, we recruited people like probably 1 presidential, 1 senatorial, and probably 10 congressional. So if you'd like to host an event, we have CE. I will travel. If you can't afford for, us, if you're not a big agency, you can't afford to bring me there, I can bring myself there. But I think it's a great way for us to recruit new members.
Sorry about that. It didn't sound like it made any sense, but I was just going with it. Okay, we have approved CE courses. Would you like to host an event? That would be fabulous. And we need new members. How do we obtain new members and new ideas? Okay. I'm opening it up for, I'd like to give one comment. This is kind of off the record. On Friday, if any of y'all have a TV in your office or doing whatever, check out C-SPAN. The mayor of Denham Springs, where I live, my next door neighbor, is going to be addressing Congress on the flooding in Louisiana. I don't know if y'all realize, but in where I live, Denham Springs, we have a population of 14,000 people. 90% of us lost our homes. So, and in Livingston Parish, which is 147,000 people, I believe it is, the number is 78% of people lost their homes. So anyway, he's going to be addressing Congress on Friday if y'all get a chance to see that. Now, I'm opening it up for other questions. Anyone have any? Yeah, let's talk about your state. Fran, you want to talk about your state? Dorothy? Deborah? Anyone?
Robert. Whoops.
I got one from, okay. Anyone have anything else?
I mean, this is the opportunity. No other association does this, that we bring in people from all over the United States. It doesn't matter what level of membership you are, and you have the opportunity to talk and talk about your state or talk about what we should be doing. So I think we have some hands up, and I'm excited. We're going to go to Jacqueline first.
Okay, Jacqueline? Hold on.
There you go.
Okay, you're unmuted. Okay, Jacqueline, tell us about Florida.
Okay, Jacqueline's must not be able to use her mic. I did put in the Monday Morning News yesterday. If you looked at the first section, there was a link you could click on that told you in your state what carriers were remaining in the exchange and what rates had been proposed to your commissioner. Some commissioners have accepted, some commissioners have not accepted. Fran said, has Jeff heard much more about a single payer plan at the federal level? I'm going to see if, to let Jeff talk and say I know they're talking about it in New York, but nothing is happening. Jeff, do you have a comment about the single payer?
Well, I think the comment is virtually all deep blue states right now are in a push for single payer. There's no question about it that New York, Illinois, California, and several others where they really and truly are very, very blue states, they are all back to pushing for it again as though we were back in the early 90s and there had been no health care reform of any kind. And sadly, that is just the way it is right now. You know, I don't know what else I can say about it except that these people are our enemies and they are not going to stop if they don't have to. So we've got to be able to beat them. The only way we're going to beat them is if we get enough political clout, which means being able to raise enough money for our PAC. But on a state-by-state basis, I think you're going to see a lot more of these legislative proposals come up, and in some states they're going to pass. Then, of course, once they pass, they've got to try and figure out, you know, how do we actually make it work? How do we pay for it? But passing it is a political intent. And with the political intent, somebody's always going to have the will to figure it out. So if we're going to protect our businesses, we're going to have to do everything we can to lobby against any of these single-payer bills that are going on. I don't expect to see it at the federal level, especially after the election, but at the state level, certain states, they're moving forward. We'll just have to see how it shakes out.
Thank you, Jeff. For those that are new to HOFA or possibly new to this call, Jeff Miles brings a lot to the table. He was actually the California Association of Health Underwriters president, which you know California is huge. So we are lucky and honored to have him. Also with their hand up, and I'm excited, is our new superstar. He's not too new to HOFA, but he's our superstar, Mr. Wes Fisher. So I am going to unmute Wes. You there, Wes?
I'm here right now. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You got the floor.
I do. Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to kind of follow up on a few things regarding your trips down to Florida. And we probably had about 80, 90 agents at the Tampa Agent Summit, and we enticed them to come out because we gave them a lunch, 2 hours of CE that Nell and I did, and we have a new health plan that was coming into the marketplace, Molina. So we use the Agent Summit as an opportunity to not only recruit for HAFA members, but recruit agents that were would be selling the Molina product under our FML contract. So it really worked out well. The agents were just super excited that they found out that there were resources out there, there was an association out there fighting on their behalf. So next Wednesday, we're going to have a very, very similar type of event in Davie, Florida, near Fort Lauderdale. And I just wanted to kind of extend that opportunity to other agencies or FMOs or MGAs that might want to host an event, because it's not only a great event for HAFA, but it can also be a great event for a recruiting organization. So we are expecting a good number of people to enroll into a HAFA membership, and we're very much looking forward to that. Plus, I think the efforts that we're doing in Tampa and in Fort Lauderdale will help boost our Florida attendees at the HAFA annual meeting next year in Orlando. So if anyone has any questions or they want to pick my brain on what they could do in their state to have one of these agent summits or agent meetings or recruiting session, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll share with you whatever I can do to help you out with your efforts. So Renelle, that's about all I have on the summits.
Thank you, Wes. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of days.
I'll see you shortly.
We did have a comment from Georgia that said that the feds are pushing a public option, not a single payer. So looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, kind of is like a duck, but not totally like a duck. So that's a point well taken. Is there anybody else, Wes, you want to say anything about Louisiana? Robert or Les or Elena, Dorothy, Brandon? Dorothy raises her hand every 5 minutes, but she really doesn't mean to. Well, I think we're going to end up stopping before we actually needed to. What I'd like to say is, before I turn it back over to Bridget, is that we appreciate your time. This is important. If you didn't say or text what your questions are, or what you'd like to see HAFA do, or what you'd like us to see us do in your state, or things you want Jeff to address in legislation, or anybody else, or marketing ideas, feel free to email us. HAFA is an association of our members. We don't live in an ivory tower. We have 2 people here, and everybody else is volunteers, and it's about raising our voice and saving our jobs. So I'm going to let Bridget close it out, and again, thank you for being with us today.
I appreciate everyone being on the call and giving such great input. Again, if you need us, just email us, or the office is open from 9 to 5, and Christine knows how to get a hold of us. But we look forward to hearing from you, and we appreciate everything that y'all do. Thank you.